Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to this Voiceflow and Airtable tutorial. In this video we're just going to look at how to query our data within the Google Sheet, and we'll see how that is done using Airtable. Now, one thing about Airtable is that every single operation you want to carry out, right, has a different link, right? So this particular link you can see here, like I mentioned, shows you a maximum number of records of 3, right? That's what this link is for, right? So there are different links that you need to get various types of results. Now, in order for you to be able to get the results you want, you need to use their API URL encoder tool here. So we can just open this in a new tab. Okay, so now let's go over there. Now Airtable has populated your base ID, right? Which is, if you come back to your sheet here, you should be able to see it in your URL, right? So this is the ID right here, in case you were looking for it, right? And then the table name, right? That is this sheet one. That's the table name. The table name, this sheet one here, has this value right here. Perfect. So if you're looking for a link to get the maximum records of 3, you can just put a 3 here and watch as this URL changes. So this is the URL you need, right? So if you copy this, right? We can test it on our API step within Voiceflow. If you notice this was actually the link that we used from here, right? And it gave us the maximum of 3 records and all of that, right? But now we can also use this new link that we've generated, right? Control V, right? And then if we run it now, you see it still returns the same values. Don't forget, in case you didn't watch the previous video before this, we also had like a bearer token authorization, right, to help us access our table. Okay, now we have seen that. So if you want 4, you can increase it. If you want 5, you can just basically do as you want. Now, to get other types of information, like for example, if you want to list only for certain fields, like you want only the name and the emails alone, right? So you can just come here and add a field. The field name we can use, you can say name. Add another field, you can say email, right? So now we can just take this link, copy it, and then go back here, then replace this link here, and then hit send. Okay. Yeah, apologies for that. Just discovered I needed to reload my Voiceflow yet again. It wasn't updating, right? So the same link that we used before, let me just get that link now. So let me just add another field. This was the field we used before, email. So now if I come here and copy all this, and I come here and edit this, Control A, Control V, right? And I send this. Notice that this changed as well. This didn't change in the last, like when I was having the issue, right? But now you can see that the name and the email has they've been updated, right? So this is the only thing that is being listed. So if you want more columns, you can use this, right? You can use this and add more fields, right? And then you get a new link, and then you can paste that link, right? Then so let's say you want to, so we can close these ones here. Let's go back to the documentation. So now I want to filter by formula, right? So sorry, filter by formula. So let's say, for example, you want to find a certain value, right, in your table, right? You want to find, maybe you want to list by where the email is equal to pepper@gmail.com, right? Use the filter by formula, URL, right? So the formulas, which formula should you use, right? So you can just open this up in a new tab. For the formulas to use, you can click on Airtable formula playground here, right? And so you can close this one. So these are the various formulas that you need that you can use here, right? So let's say you want to find something, right? You can just hit on this find to expand it, and then so how to use the find function, you just come here and say find, and then the string to find, that is what you're trying to look for. Where to search, that is which of the columns on your sheet do you want to search, and start from what position, that is which of the rows, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4 do you want to start from, right? So let's just grab this, right, and just come to our URL creator here, right? And then we just call this, we can just say this is find, right? And then you can then say we're trying to look for, what did it say again? It says string to find and then where to search. So string to find, we'll put that in quotation marks and just call that pepper@gmail.com. and then where to search would be the column name, right? So what's the column name? The column name would be email. So we can just come here and search email like this, and now we have our formula. So we can, so basically just following this formula here is all you need, right? It's nothing too special. So you can just come here, copy all this, and then we can come here and drop it here and send. Oh, okay. Okay, just give me a minute, let me understand what's going on. Okay, so I figured out what the problem was. Pardon me, I'm also learning this new technology as we go along, right? But so what just happened was that we just need to come back here and alter our formula a bit. So in the last time I put this in quotation marks, but that is wrong, right? So you need to remove the quotation marks from the name of the column, right? But the value that you're trying to search for should be in quotation marks. So you can use this link now, Control C, and then drop it here, Control A, Control V, right? And then send, right? So now you've gotten where your email is, pepper@gmail.com, right? So you can come yet again to the documentation, right? So we can get max records, we can, number of records returned in each request must be less than or equal to 100, right? So I mean, these are all well and good, right? Okay, so let's see how to sort based on a particular column. So let's come back here and add sorts, right? So the field name, let's say it's name, right? And then you want it ascending or descending. They've made it really easy for us, so you can just come here. Oh, let me remove this particular filter, right? Now if we copy this, you should see the names in ascending order, right? So the first name starts with a C, the next name starts with an O, right? If we flip it over to descending, right, and then we take this link and then we come here, then hit send. Now O is on top and C is at the bottom, right? So that's basically how you do sort. Yeah. So now let's switch over to retrieving a record. I think that's basically what we've been doing. We've been retrieving records, right? So now I think the last thing we should just do in this
video would just be to create a record, right? Which is basically what we've been doing with app.sheet best, right? We're able to write and we're able to read, right? So we've seen how to read on Airtable. Now let us see how to write on Airtable. So this is how to write on Airtable. You need a post request. You need to send it to this link, right? And then you have your header already given to you. You have your content type, application JSON once again, and then your data. So you just copy this and just edit it to your liking, right? So let's do that now. So we take this link, copy that, and then move it here. Control A, Control V. Don't forget to change this to a post request. Now the authorization bearer and then your token, we already have that here, right? So there's no need to change anything there. Then the next thing, we need to add a header for content type for application JSON. So we come here, add another header, right? So we have content type application /JSON, right? So that's that about that. Then we move on to the next step. So now we need to get our data, right? The type of data, the format for the data has already been given to us, so we can just copy all this, copy this, and then we can just come here and change the body to raw, and then it must be in JSON. So now you can just paste this value here, right? And yeah, you're good. Now you can basically edit these values to your liking, right? Maybe you have a flow that is already working and all of that, right? You can use your variables to, as placeholders in these positions here, right? So yeah, if I hit send now, it would work. And if you want to just send, because these are two records you're trying to send one for Olujare and you're trying to send one for Chili Pepper, right? So if you want to send for just one, you can just remove one of the curly braces, right? One of the main curly braces here, right? And that would, take it out. But for now, let me just hit send to see if it works. Oh, okay. Whoops, I have seen where the issue is. So be careful when you're copying the example from the documentation. I actually thought this was a comma, but it isn't. It's actually a quotation mark. So you remove that, and that should resolve that issue. So you can hit send now. So it works, 200, okay. So if you come back to our Airtable, go to the table itself. You can see now you have two extra extra values here, right? So that's basically the basics of working with Airtable. I don't know if you wanted us to go a bit deeper, but I believe this is good enough for us for our uses in Voiceflow. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.